At the end of the 80-episode epic Kingswar, we get this scene that has stayed with me, and I've been thinking since then why it did. Between an old and aging Liu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, and this young boy. We have journeyed through trial, blood, sweat and tears with Liu Bang. We have seen him lose friends, wives and himself, all for a kingdom, and he must have learnt much. At the same time, through the whole series, he shows no sign of self-awareness of having learnt anything. Here, at the end of his days, with this innocent child, he confesses and tells all with a frankness and earnestness that only settling down to look over a life with hindsight can bring. Here he is at his grand palace at the end of days. They are strangers. At least it seems Liu Bang is not familiar enough with him to even know who this boy is. This frees him to speak without care, in the same way that we might feel when we meet a stranger and confess all of our sins.
你爹是谁？
齐王。
哦，齐王是刘肥呀。
你呢？
我爹。啊，我个混蛋。
你在这儿住吗？
对呀，不过我就要搬了。
搬到哪去啊？
长岭。
Grey and crouching over his throne, his face barely visible to us, and the young boy looking up at him. He compares starkly to the young, open-faced boy who's curious on the steps below him. And it's the middle of the day, and he's already drunken, barely able to open his eyes.
搬到哪去啊？
长岭。
那是坟墓。
The boy's incredulous response of "That's a graveyard" is paired with Liu Bang's world-weary assessment.
我知道那是坟墓，所以我要搬到那儿去。
Liu Bang's body language also closes him off to the boy. Is he about to unveil his secrets of wisdom, or is he going to keep them inside himself?
你要搬到坟墓住？
嗨，人人都得去，你将来也得去。其实。
That he's already moved on in his head, and has lived for all the things that he wishes to.
那儿跟这儿差不多。嗯，来，来，给你点儿。
Crawling down onto his mat to offer a snack, enveloped in silk robes, just serves to show us how timeless this gesture is. The old man passing on a sweet to a grandson. Sometimes words are of little use. And just look at that framing. The old man coming down off of his pedestal, his throne, down to the level of the boy. He even puts himself lower than the boy. The little boy's frank response will probably annoy Liu Bang. This is a snack that he has long since eaten, even back in his days as the village constable. He wants the boy to enjoy what he has, as an old man might want to observe a youngster enjoying something they loved when they were young.
这个房子你觉得怎么样啊？
很好。
好，很好。你是没去过阿房宫，那才叫很好。可惜呀，被项羽这个混蛋给烧了。
谁是项羽？
Liu Bang is going through a history that he has presumed everyone knows. This remark, "Who is Xiang Yu?" has stopped Liu Bang in his tracks. He has forgotten that people have come to live without the man holding a central position in his life story. Xiang Yu was a titan of his time, and Liu Bang is being reminded that all must pass.
就是那个 人们都管他叫战神那个。可是，他让我给打败了。你说，这是不是不可思议啊？
As he leans back on his throne now, back up again above the boy, he angles his head up. Here's some of that old Liu Bang arrogance and confidence that drove him to the success. And he says, "Isn't that remarkable? Liu Bang is interrogating it all himself, perhaps for the first time. How on earth had he beaten that man who was known as the god of war?"
是不可思议啊！我也觉得不可思议。这不是我赢。
As he narrows his eyes, he searches for a reason and admits, "It's not I that defeated him."
啊，当然，我之所以能够到现在还有一帮。
Now begins his confession. It was not he that brought him the success. It was his brothers.
好弟兄在帮我。运筹帷幄，决胜千里之外，我不如张良啊！治理国事，交纳赋税，我不如萧何；领兵打仗，管理军队，我不如汉。他们三个人都是人中豪杰。可是他们就愿跟着我干，你知道为什么？
Why did they choose to obey him? We're reminded of how innocent this boy is. He has no idea. Why did these men obey him?
我告诉你，因为我是条龙，史官们说。我这条龙是当年我娘在河边被龙裹住了，你不信吧？
This is a man who has pondered over his legacy. Otherwise, why would he even know this?
你当然不信，所以我就成王了。
This is the story he's telling himself now.
陈胜说过：“王侯将相。”宁有种乎？这是我听到的最带劲的一句话了。想一想，我一个吕左之人，手提3尺。
This is true. He started from nothing. Although the truth is more complex, he did not go out seeking his fortune. The truth is, he went out seeking to save his own life. Liu Bang is telling a comforting tale about his life here.
剑来闯天下，他居然赢得了天下。这不是我刘邦有什么本事，是天意。
It was heaven's will, he says.
这个胜利是庶民之怒的胜利。再说项羽吧，本不该死，可是他不。
He says Xiang Yu didn't want to live and asked for death. In many ways, there's some truth to this. Xiang Yu certainly didn't listen to his advisors, and yet he certainly didn't ask for death.
想活，偏偏求死。不过，我敬他，甚至到现在，我还。
What has been haunting Liu Bang in his dreams? Is it the man he considered a god of war, Xiang Yu, the man who he ordered death upon?
是有点怕的，哎，但是我从来不服他。我赢了，凤凰输了，麻雀赢了。 麻雀赢了。
凤凰输了，麻雀赢了。How did the phoenix lose to the house sparrow? This must be a mystery to even Liu Bang himself.
麻雀赢了。人呐，可以输100次，但是一定要赢最后一次。我知道。
Now he's done with analysing the past. He looks to the future, going from looking down at his past up to his progeny.
你到了我这个年纪，大汉江山还在不在？
Closes his eyes and imagines it. He's concerned about the future.
万世基业，缥缈无际的汉呐。
Liu Bang saw as much in his own lifetime.
我刘邦为大汉的基业拼命的打基础，没用，没用啊！就说这长乐宫吧，地基还是歪了。
He's worried, and all he can do is drink.
在晃啊！
没晃呀，我父亲喝了酒之后也说房子在晃，可是房子没晃。
This little boy's common sense interpretation of Liu's words are refreshing.
可是房子没晃。
This brings Liu Bang's feet down to the ground.
没晃，没错，是人心在晃，是大汉的人心在晃。
And puts him in a wistful philosophical mood.
世上最难琢磨的，就是人心；最难满足的呢，也是人心；最难阻挡的，更是人心。都说改朝换代要顺天应人。
Indeed, we know this to be true. The mind thinking 1,000 thoughts a minute.
在我看，王道以德服人，霸道以利服人，两者缺一不可。
Liu Bang here is combining his great predecessors, whom the Han dynasty both utilized, the morality of Confucius and the force and governance and law of Shanyang.
这天下还是要治人心。
Liu Bang heads towards the bells, an inheritance of the Zhou dynasty, from which Confucius was born into.
还是要管，要王霸兼用，这叫敬天治人。
Tianming, heaven's mandate. Striking the musical bells like a judge striking the gavel. His word is final. This scene stands out like many other magical exchanges between youth and old age at the end of epic films. This is why youth needs old age. It needs wisdom. And this is why old age needs youth. Keeps their feet on the ground. He has come to some conclusions about the ideals to be strived for. All of this told to the ears of a boy for whom this will once seem like a dream. That time the emperor, the founder of my dynasty, my grandfather, gave him a strange fruit before chiming the bells for him.